Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's episode of The Plight of Princes. Where last we left off, our party had made their way to the small um, riverside village of Carhold. Entering into its keep after having engaged in a scuffle with ogres and bandits on the outside, keeping most of the townspeople quite safe, they found themselves amidst a slaughter, with demons seeming to sprout out from multiple areas. Having to fend off this new threat, they then followed a small group of orcs into the castle and further up, where they found the apparent mastermind behind all of this, an Oni, attempting to kill the matron of the town. However, after a very brief moment, it's revealed that this was not in fact the matron herself, but in fact a changeling who disguised himself as this matron in order to serve as a double body or a decoy. The fighting with this Oni ensued until the Oni was damaged enough that it attempted to escape. However, with multiple tracking effects from party members, the most mobile of which was a princess being carried by, well, a Disney princess being carried by a bird, they then proceeded to hunt after the Oni. After a moment in the sky of a near dogfight, the Oni was shot down, and several hundred feet later he hit the ground and his corpse splintered, splattered, and was left into a pile. And at that moment, most of the party is on the outside of the village, making their way up and towards the north side by Carhold, where this incident is taking place. Posey and Kika, you are about 180 feet away from this creature as it has fallen and struck into the ground. What do you do?
I'm going to start descending in circles, just getting gradually lower but keeping a bit of a distance, like just waiting to see, like, is this a bluff, is it actually dead, being very cautious.
Okay.
Before eventually we land on the ground.
Would one of you like to make a perception check for me, please?
Hey Blue, how good are you at this?
I mean...
Probably better than me.
My character sheet
Why
was
do I
slow.
still
There
hear
we go.
boss music?
Just a zero, just a zero, just a zero.
Might still be better than Posey, who knows?
Technically, I am better. You want me to make it?
Yeah. I'll assist.
+1, here we go.
Roll again with for your advantage check.
Advantage. Slightly worse.
16. You're keeping your eye on it. You're more watching for anything around, like, say, the limbs, seeing if anything begins trying to twitch or move. And there are moments where you think, is that it moving, or is it just from the wind? But slowly you both lower yourselves down. The wind, almost deafening at this height just because of the gusts that are passing you, eventually calms down as you get lower towards the ground and that strength passes. You look from a distance at the creature, the remains of the Oni, and make a history check, Posey.
Oh no, that's not good. Flat 0.
Hey!
This is probably bad.
Love to see it.
So, from your own knowledge and from things you've learned in your time traveling the roads, you've learned that creatures that tend to regenerate, when they get dealt a considerable or too dangerous a blow, they tend to very, very slowly begin a regenerative process. As such, it may have not begun to regenerate yet, or it may very well be beginning to regenerate, but it is such a slow rate that you wouldn't notice it, but you are aware that it would eventually ramp up. But how long? Probably maybe a day, maybe two it would take for this body to fully regenerate.
Are we on the ground now?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I'm just gonna look to Kika and go, okay, would you mind keeping watch for our friends or anything coming towards us? Just, keep an eye on things up there, away from this.
Yeah, I can. Are you gonna be okay down here? Or I don't know about leaving you alone. Is it actually like?
Yeah.
I will say,
I'm gonna make sure it stays that way.
with how far it took you, you took a slow, careful descent down, and with the party still on their way, I'm going to say the party's about 4 minutes out, so you're going to have a little bit of time to do stuff before they show up.
Okay. Just keep an eye out for the party because I'm sure they're following. But I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't start moving again. Okay?
Okay. But only if you're sure. Do you need?
I will yell for you if I need you.
Okay.
I promise. I promise.
Okay, I won't be far away. I'll just be up.
Okay. Go.
Okay.
Okay. And the minute she's not looking, the second. First thing, I literally wrote a list so I didn't forget the order I wanted to do this in. 1, it had a pouch. I want it.
You take a small knife or a hatchet or something similar. You just chop the pouch, just cut per style, just roughly.
I've got a scimitar.
Yeah. Scimitar, perfect. Just take the scimitar and just rough hew at it, and you just chop off the pouch. And as you pick it up and you hold it, there's something in the pouch. You've cut it in a way that it kind of just begins like almost falling open itself.
Okay. I will very quickly take a peek.
You find a statuette, very small, a figurine of a silver raven.
Ooh.
Now, silver raven. Okay. I'll look through that pouch in more detail in a bit. I'm gonna put it aside because I know I'm on limited time. Yeah. If Kika's not looking, I will remove that. Oh, the Oni.
It takes an effort because if you've ever seen someone like Andre the Giant, or like the guy who plays Clegane from Game of Thrones, or a guy who's that big, that head is massive. It's an actual effort to move the head alone, but you manage to like shuffle the shoulders or something onto a point where it's just slightly tilted forward and the back of the neck is exposed, and just eventually,
okay,
with splatters of blood, plenty of splatters of this like dark black blood, it eventually comes loose.
Okay. Then I probably won't be able to finish doing this by the time the party gets here, but I'm going to... If there's... Oh, it's raining, isn't it?
It's only beginning, it's like a drizzle.
Okay, if I can find any, like, twigs and things, I'm basically gonna start setting up a way to burn the body, not the head. I'll keep the head separate.
Okay. Make a nature check. Nature or survival, your choice. So
Equally bad. No, survival's slightly better.
I gave you an option. There you go. Okay. So, he was just at the outskirts of the tree, so he'd come towards you, so it'll take you you just dash across, having taken off the head and left it separate from the body. You make your way into the woods, like just like at the very like cusp of it, and you just begin looking around for dried leaves, thicket, things that you could use. Whilst there isn't a huge sum of
I just need to start something. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get up a small bundle of it. Like, that might not, by itself, definitely would not perform a large fire. But you kind of, like, cover it under with, like, your clothes and your outfit and just move your way back over to the body.
Yeah, and I don't have any fire magic. So I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, but I'm going to try and catch onto... Yeah, I've got a tin box.
Yeah. Where do you want to try and set the fire up?
Way. Preferably somewhere where it's not going to catch on the rest of the forest.
Okay, well, you can take it out. Like he more or less fell out onto
But
the
just,
field.
I'm
like,
just gonna try and like,
essentially,
if he's wearing any kind of clothes or anything.
Just to say it to you, he essentially like slammed down on this kind of like slant, like uphill movement kind of thing. Like as it goes up and into the trees is where it was. You guys were out over like say a slope down into a valley kind of vibe. So we slammed down onto like a small like 50 uphill with like just slight escalation, not much. So you move your way over to there. Definitely wouldn't catch a fire to the forest. And you can begin just like, trying to bury some of the wood and tinder underneath some of the parts that aren't currently oozing or aren't currently like wet themselves, like underneath like the rib cage. And just in there you just begin with a flint and tinder, just you begin, and the fire does begin, and it's just like very slow, of course, it's only beginning to build. By the time you get to the fire beginning, you've kept the head separate. The rest of the party would show up, and Kika, you would see them approaching.
Once they're close enough, she flies down to meet them.
Okay. Anyone who's further enough away, you just basically just see Posey like hunched over the body, the remains. But maybe like from 50 foot away, Kika lands down next to you guys.
We're okay. We're okay. Pretty sure. I think we got it. We got it. It's dead. I think we're pretty sure it's dead.
You think it's dead? It's either dead or it's not dead.
I'm not an expert, okay?
You can hear this debate, Posey, from a distance.
Me sitting on my phantom steed will say, dead is actually not a binary, but fire does typically stop regeneration.
I was getting to that. But I would like definition of the state of the thing.
Not moving
Well,
in pieces.
as you can see, it is currently burning.
It's not burning yet. The fire is
not
underneath
yet.
the creature, and it's very slow. It's only beginning to start. There's only like a very small trickle
There's just
of.
a tiny bit of smoke, yeah.
It's only funnily enough, it's coming out the next dump. Smoke is. Put this the right way, and it look like this only decided who the next pope is.
Lovely.
Every Catholic in the room laughed or shook their head.
What?
Never changing, everyone.
I was on the phone.
You're all good.
Listening.
So, essentially, you do see Posey is like hunched over the creature a little bit further away. Loyalty is adamant. Is it dead yet? And King is philosophical. What's the rest of you guys doing?
Dithering.
Yes. Pretty much the same.
Lois
Is he dead yet?
anxiously looking over to check Posey's home. Posey! Posey!
Oh, I'm gonna point at Posey
No, that's me.
and
That's me
cast
out of
whisper.
character. That's me out of character.
You mean message?
what message? Yeah, go. Everything good over there?
Posey, immediately in your head you hear everything good over there.
Yeah, yes. If anyone could make this burn quicker, it would make my job a bit easier. Don't know how much that goes through.
It actually doesn't have a letter cap, thankfully.
Yeah,
But,
message doesn't have it.
most of you guys would have probably just heard her vocalize the phrase of, "Yeah, can someone burn this?" And she kind of like turns leaning, and you can just see smoke begin rising out from the corpse while she's got black blood smeared on her face, and her hands are like
Just
up
holding
to
its head.
up to the like one hand is holding the head, and it's up to like wrist caked in black blood. Or like, yeah,
Who am I?
a Disney princess. Also, very worth noting that it's around the knees where the head is hanging, and like the knee and the shin, like at the side where it's like kind of smacked against you, is just covered in black.
Does anyone want to help burn that, or should I take this one?
I mean, I have firewood. That's about all I got.
If anyone can set a thing on fire, it's you. I mean,
How far away is Posey?
She is right next to the corpse,
I'm
about
just
50
gonna-
feet from you guys.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Posey.
take a step away from the corpse.
Posey,
Just like
I-
just a big old step.
I lack any sort of fire spells, I'm afraid.
That's fine. Hey, Posey, just come this way just a little closer.
I
just a bit closer to us, not to the fire.
Yes.
Hey,
I
grab anything
know
no,
what fire.
grab anything you need.
You got it,
Go
you got it.
for it.
no sort of signs behind behind Runara, hopefully within eyesight of Posey. Just
Yeah. And Posey, I will say, for the sake
I
of
catch
ease,
on.
because you were asking about outfit, like outfit or armor, it is wearing a chain shirt of armor.
Yeah, that was more if I can catch it on fire.
Chain shirt of armor? Cool, it'll be grilled.
Once it's close enough, I will cast fireball.
Babushka.
That
Why
does
not?
it.
You grab
Getting out of Runara's system, guys, so she can remember that she's a healer.
This much fire damage. Oh,
Roll a
Oh,
d100.
that's a good
Roll
one.
Roll a d100.
Look at the.
I want to see how many parts you put this in.
83 parts.
No, 83 different directions. Everything just begins going.
That damage.
Like there's a
roll.
moment where the fireball just shoots out. It's just that bead zips in to where the smoke is beginning, and there's like 2 or 3 seconds of, like, you know, when you're waiting for the mensa, like you put it in the actual coke and you twist the bottle and you're just waiting for the just, and Oni bits begin raining.
I feel
hope
like
no
we're
one
all just
killed.
standing. I was gonna say we're just like all standing here, just going. Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
we're fucking covered, just like.
you did want it burned, right?
Well,
I
it's dead.
mean, yeah. Yeah.
Short of some high-level necromancy or divine intervention, that one is not coming back.
There's a god up there going, "Nine touching that."
yeah.
Sorry, Giga, this is why I was trying to get you to look the other way. It's not pretty.
And we get out of the rain of whatever.
Realistically, it wouldn't have gotten that far. As much as I would
Yeah.
like to meme, it would not have gotten out of the blast
Yeah,
radius of
figured.
the fireball. So there are bits floating about. Weirdly enough, I'll say for Serenus, Widdick, and Runara, the people, and King, the people with the high perceptions in the party, out of everything in it, like, you can see it had like this kind of like weird, nasty, like 2-sided, like curved bladed glaive. And like it had a few other small things. Most of that's been wrecked. The only thing that is somehow still immaculate is its chain shirt.
I ran over to grab the chain shirt.
Nine!
Magique.
Magic!
Magic!
Wait,
Magique.
Careful,
just
it may
a
be
random
hot.
question to the DM.
It is not. Sorry, just 1 second, honey. It is not
Okay.
super hot because it's only got flash heated. So the armor itself doesn't have time to process the fact it's fucking hot.
If anything, it's just got sterilized.
Yeah.
It's like walking over hot coals. As long as you keep
fresh
moving, you're
honey.
fine.
mail.
What's up, honey?
How far away is Low from Posey right now?
Probably like 10 foot, realistically.
If that's
You're
the
all kinda
case,
sat
then
together?
when Low is going, let's get out of the only rain, he just sort of goes prestidigitation on Posey and just cleans her up.
You're back to Disney princess form.
I'm imagining
We
just
say
Widdick
no more.
Widdick,
We're good.
do you have any tinkering or any like tool sets, skill checks? Because I know you usually have a few.
I mean, I have proficiencies wise, alchemy and cartography.
Okay, can you just give me a straight intelligence check then?
Ooh, very good.
You would not have
That
had
was-
the advantage.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
The DC would
so-
have been lower, but you didn't have the advantage, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a.
Nice looking piece of chain mail.
I'll identify that for you if you wish.
Yes, please. I'd rather. I've learned this out of character. Don't do that. Just don't go. Ah, yes.
I'm gonna put these gloves on. What would happen? Ah! Ah!
Yeah.
Your first character, never forget.
Before I start this ritual, may I just say, the other day I screamed into a colander. Now my voice is strained.
Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on.
Psychic damage. Psychic
You've
damage.
never heard
Well,
like
Kika
a far
feels
off
better,
distant
so screw
thunderbolt.
you guys.
You never heard like a far off distant thunderbolt go boo.
Well, maybe don't do the ritual right here in the rain.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna put it in the
Maybe
bag
head
holding
back
for now.
and then
Very well, put it in the
Rain
bag.
of
water.
burning,
Just like
burning ash and bits of something I dread not to think.
Yeah, if there's any pieces of this Oni left, if this Oni regenerated from this position, the fuckers earned the right to kill you bastards. Good sir, what the fuck is going on outside? The dogs are having a field day. But give me a second.
There's an Oni out there.
So,
Come to eat your children.
By the way, I'm just carrying its head. By the way, I just have
why
it.
do you still have that?
To
What?
prove that it is dead.
Do you want me to burn that as well?
Its eyes are yellow,
No,
its tongue
no.
is sloughed out, its tongue is kind of like almost jabbed into the bottom row of like all like canine like jagged teeth. There's like kind of...
With a few exceptions, things do not usually survive decapitation.
Yeah, and also I found that saying that you've killed something isn't really as persuasive as carrying its head
Showing
back.
the head.
Right, so you want it for trophy.
So Posey of
Forgot.
Rivia, along
No,
came
no.
her song.
So you can tell everyone you killed it, haven't you?
Leave me alone. No, I don't want it for that. It's more just so they know it's dead.
Evidence.
Trophy of
Actions
reassurance.
speak louder than words.
Not a trophy of boasting. Trophy of reassurance, okay.
No, I'm not keeping this. I'm not carrying this
It's-
with me.
it
I
does smell
don't
pretty
enjoy
bad.
doing this.
And black isn't a good colour on your moonbeam. Seriously. Well, not that stuff anyway.
So you're making your way back to town?
Yes.
Yes.
Renara, before we
I
do
don't
head
want
back to town, I would like a word with you.
Oh, sure. Have you got, do you need me to burn something? Or...
Well, separate. Well,
Okay.
you're the party's holy authority, so I inquire this with you.
Okay.
I've already discussed it with Wittick on the topic, and I've had some thoughts. You know, my school and ability is necromancy.
Mm,
It is within my power to raise the dead to serve.
uh-huh.
From a legal standpoint, I was thinking that those who have attacked us could pay redemption by engaging in a single battle against those who would do us harm before they passed on. Perhaps this could be some sort of penance, and may see them to a better afterlife. Having said that, as I have considered it, I will leave the thought to you, and for you to decide if that would be appropriate or not.
I'm gonna whisper that roll. But never mind. I mean, necromancy in itself isn't inherently bad.
Indeed, I
Um,
believe resurrection spells work similarly,
Yeah.
and I would hold to the law that it would only be to penance. They can only serve for what they have done, and then must be released.
My only concern with that is that why. Who's going to be the authority on that? Are you the authority on what their penance should be, and that they should, and that they were bad?
We cannot determine a lot of things about our enemies. We do not have the time, as you point out, to play judge and gather evidence. So I would simplify it. If they attacked us, they would serve for a single battle. That seems appropriate for penance and does not overstep. does not do well to demand more service than would be appropriate. They may be very well guilty of more than assault, but we can hardly determine that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super keen on the idea. I mean, I'm not complete. I mean, I'm wanting some time to think about it. But you can bring them back. Like, would they know that they're back? Would they just be?
In all honesty,
that
it would
work?
only be their flesh. I have not the ability to return their soul to their body. Rather, via necromancy, use lingering life force to animate their corpse.
I mean, might have to. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a grey area.
I ask you this in particular because it would be down to you that, when it was time for them to release, to ensure the body could not be raised again.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I mean, I did it to that only just now, so don't see why I couldn't do it to anything else.
God, we're just gonna be fireballing everything. God.
If you need me to
That's
fireball
just an excuse for
a
King to
zombie.
fireball everything.
If the opportunity
As I
arises,
said,
we can simply
occupational hazard.
march them into hallowed ground, but I would still have you oversee it.
Sure.
I would also like you to keep me in check to make sure that I do hold to this word. I
Kill
intend
them
to,
if they get
but
too far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
there is
I
always
mean,
the temptation with power. There always must be checks and balances. No one should stand above the law.
but then, oh yeah. I mean, I'm happy to keep you in check, but then does that then give me too much power? Being the person who's got power over keeping you in check to make sure you don't get too much power. Who's gonna keep me in check?
Hmm.
I'll keep you in check.
Oh.
Because I'm a robot and I don't
Yeah,
give
but-
two fucks.
Okay. So I'll keep. So okay, so this is what happens. So I'll make sure you don't go hungry with necromantic power by keeping you in check, and then Wittick will make sure I don't go crazy
think
with holy power
It
by
would
keeping me in
be,
check.
I think we
not
could right next to the
unreasonable.
rest of your party while you'd have this discussion, yeah?
well, as
Like-
we're getting to this point, maybe, sure.
Yeah, he did say we were a little bit out of the way, like probably not completely out of earshot. I'd assume.
Especially because Wittick joined in. That's why I'm wondering.
Things happen.
I think by the nature of your career path that you have a very good authority to make sure that you would not overstep your bounds. That would become quite evident.
Well, I mean, we can see. Sure.
We will try, but do keep me up to date if your god decides that this is not appropriate. I am sure they will let you know, and I will cease action immediately.
Sure. I mean, as long as you promise not to do it when we face up, then okay. I think we'll be okay.
If it is not approved, it shall not go past. That is the nature of law.
Okay. Can we move now? I'm concerned Bluebird's getting waterlogged, and I'm concerned of that thing getting dripping all over Moonbeam.
Let us go.
I'm afraid out of everybody here, you're the one who's getting waterlogs. Feathers are generally quite, resistant.
Yeah, Lo, you lean to the side a bit, just...
Okay, point made. We move.
Oh, also, the reason I had said about me coming in was because I had already talked to King about this, and so it was like,
yeah.
I'm fucking with all three of you. You're fine, buddy. You're fine. I'm fucking with you.
Like-
So you're making your way back. As you arrive back into the gate of the city, it's quiet. Not because there's no one around. There is, but it's a very somber moment. The dead are being divided up between those who were of the town and those who certainly weren't. There's a multitude of people around the hill giant who died in this fight, given that he seemed to be a local. Yes, Posey.
Grab Wittick real quick. Like, just
Grab
getting
the
into
robot.
town. Wittick,
Oh, ignore that.
I think you should take this. I raise the head a little.
Posey, your arm's probably
are
dead
you trying
as
to
well
give me
at this
fake
point.
glory? What are we doing?
What? I didn't hear. I didn't know what you said. Sorry. That's-
You trying to give me fake glory in terms of like the merfolk?
It's not about that. I don't want to be the one to be like, here's a head.
Whittick, he's reassuring
I
us
see.
it's not proposed to.
See, okay,
No, in the wrong way.
I'll take the head. Just kind of.
Riddick, you have that moment where you grab the head and it's like, oh fuck, this is a heavy head. And Posey, you have that moment of, oh, I can feel my arm again. Fantastic.
You were carrying this the whole time?
Yeah. Normally put it on a horse.
Just gave it to the next best thing, a robot.
Who has a bag of holding?
The head does not fit in that. The head's dimensions are bigger than the bag of holding.
Yeah, it's a giant.
It's the size of an ogre, but
Yeah.
more. A bit more.
Can I have coffee?
You said you only had coffee.
No, I've still got coffee.
I fucking love you. Dweeb. Oh, coffee!
Right.
Coffee.
Kind of wipe the blood off my hand on my dress a bit, and then just kind of go back to the back of the group.
Precipitation.
Right. Let's see. Best
Have it,
place
good to
to
use it.
show this is probably back at the keep.
Give it to the matron.
Yeah. So let's head back to the keep.
You make your way back. You begin making your way back up, and a very
Just
important
walking
point.
past her.
A very important point gets raised that I didn't address with any of you that rushed out, except for those two. The bridge is blown.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't have been able to get out and follow them.
That's probably why it took us an extra 5 minutes.
Probably would have taken a bit more than an extra 5 minutes to clear 60 foot.
What?
Well, you might have been able to say that you ran with momentum and jumped, but now that you're at the bottom, looking up,
Any ideas?
Probably worth mentioning one of us can fly.
Yeah, but there's only one of us.
This is true. We could inquire with the town if they have a ladder.
I mean, they might have come out. Should we maybe check in? the
Although,
house and
having
ask
said
to-
that, that'd be a big ladder.
Yes, and yes. Can we have a ladder, please?
Well, hold on. Well,
How
You
many
have a
coils of
merger.
rope do we have?
hold on. Maybe the lady that we need to go and speak to might have left the castle and gone into town. Maybe check before we try and get in and it's empty.
Gestures at the bridge.
I mean, we got out.
from base to base, it's about 30 foot. So from the base of one map to the other, and then it's, on the far side, it's 40-foot climb. But it would have been a 30-foot climb on the other side, so. Either way, it's not easy.
Richard,
Okay.
can't you send her a message to see if she's in the castle? Or...
It only works when I point at people I can see.
Right, time to play around with the game rules. DM,
It's
I mean,
how
If it's Mrs.
Player.
Kennedy, you don't have to
could
be able to send her-
I use
no, it's just
plant
well, I don't know whether-
growth to
I don't know where
weave
the-
together a pseudo bridge using plant growth? If I
a hell of a lot of
show
plant
me
growth.
the rulings on plant growth. Click it and show me the rulings on plant growth. What plant growth's peak is.
So it's
Plant growth is
150 feet.
specifically-
It can make a 100-foot
Specifically only to
radius.
ground.
But I want to try to maybe concentrate. I don't know. I'm trying to be creative with what I have.
I know, but it says specifically there that once you
Where?
use it, the land that it's on becomes difficult terrain.
That's fine because we're not trying to cross quickly. We're just trying to cross.
Yeah, but it would be terrain.
It would be terrain. It wouldn't be easy to cross, but could we cross?
Plants within a specific area to possible uses.
Gonna just like encourage the vines to like wrap around each other. You can say no, because I'm just, that's not what the spell's meant to do. You can say no.
It's an idea, Blue. It's an idea.
I'm trying to be creative with what I've got.
Better than no idea.
I'm going to say, if you want to use it in this fashion, I'm going to give it a DC in my head,
Okay.
and you'll have to use an Arcana check.
Guidance.
Oh, thank you.
Hashtag guidance.
Ooh. It's a D4.
Sure.
A D4.
16.
So, definitely not capable of creating an entirely new bridge, but from, like, say, reeds that are in the river and other such things, portions of the bridge get kind of lifted up and kind of supported and held. How sturdy these each individual ones are, if these are like Crash Bandicoot ones, you step on it once, it goes boop. You don't really know, but you've made a start.
I made a start.
Cool.
Okay.
Like I say, we still don't know who's in there.
But we can go look. Can go look now. Or some of us, if we're not entirely, because I mean it's just plants, so I can't guarantee the.
I will travel across first because I am probably one of the lightest. If I start to fall, a flying friend can catch us.
Sure.
I will travel across this stuff.
So first make an athletics check, because you have to slide down the side of the moat.
Guidance.
Ugh.
You did mean athletics and not acrobatics, right?
I did say athletics.
Yep.
So, use that guidance. So roll a d4, good sir.
That's
Yeah,
you,
definitely
Nima.
help.
That's you, Nima. Hey.
With a little bit of divine grace, you manage to just barely kind of tumble onto the first bit of like wood that's pulled across. And as you're there, you have that moment of like uneasiness on it where it begins tilting to one side and then you have to lean your entire self back onto the other. And it's a hop and a hop between bits of wood as the water is just skimming at the side of your leg. And eventually you're over to the last plank on the far side, and then you're looking up at the about 70 degree, 80 degree Bailey, just looking at this, and that you're gonna have to climb it.
I'll help you with that, because you don't weigh a lot. No, I just go down and like carry her up the slope.
Like you've lifted a piece of driftwood that is messy, wet, and in a state. You just pull King up onto the far side.
I have my weight somewhere. Oh yeah, that's right, 80 pounds.
Yeah, I can carry you.
80 pounds, rain wet.
It's no bother.
What's up, Narrowin? You're thinking.
Well, because the thing of it is I don't know where the fuck in the goddamn castle the matron would be for me to even do message.
No.
That's the problem.
Don't you have to point in a direction? Just out of character.
It says point your finger towards a creature within range. I don't know where the creature is to point.
To start going there.
You can be messaging anybody.
Well, no, you.
Hey, are you in the keep? Hey, are you in the keep? Hey, are you in the keep? Like, no, this is gonna be done.
I mean, if you want to try that, go ahead.
Plus, I mean, it's like, I got more than likely there's a foot of stone between us.
I will yell very loud. I'm not going to yell actually because there's people in this house. I'll be like, "Hey, matron, are you in the keep?" Just very loud.
Hey, matron, you at the gate?
If you want, the two of us could go in and have a look, and then just like come back.
Cozy, you were going to say something?
Carry on.
Okay.
Hey, you guys.
Why not? Why don't you all go with see if the townspeople can get some ropes or something to make a makeshift bridge while the repairs are being done? We will go see if we can find the matron. And if needed, fly her back out, if a possibility.
Sure. I'm gonna head to the centre of town.
Okay.
I will go with Renara.
Me and Kika will go look for the matron.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to you two going to the matron first.
As I walk away, King, don't do any necromancy.
Not
while
without
we're
your presence and authority.
Proud of you.
Lo will sulk at the ledge.
Like the deer that doesn't know how to jump yet. Like, yeah.
No, fine. Just heads into Renara's poster.
Okay. So you two going into the castle. The smell of iron and the smell of viscera hits you guys again. It's definitely unpleasant. And you're still thinking about just how much just went down. You guys have had a crazy few minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The adrenaline is still high, feathers are still poofed. Eventually you make your way in. Up to the second floor, up to the third floor. And eventually you begin hearing conversation between the few orcs that were still present, the matron herself, and her changeling Padme.
Keira Knightley.
There are far worse people to play a changeling than Keira Knightley.
Wait, which one's Natalie Portman? Which one's Keira Knightley?
Great question!
I curtsy.
Originally you're not noticed, given the commotion between them all, but if anyone's ever seen an 80-year-old grandma just try to like take charge for a minute, like raising up her hands, everyone gets hushed. And she's like, it's like hunched over forward kind of thing. And she's got a small scepter in her hand that she's just been like trying to clutch in both hands, like someone who would like clutch very closely like a small club. And she's murmuring to herself. Eventually, a minute passes, and she like coaxes her head back up. Oh, it's some of the people who helped us.
Indeed, and we were happy to. We would like to inform you that we have disincorporated the assassin.
I don't know what that means.
It's dead.
We killed it, beheaded it, and then exploded it.
Ooh, you're thorough. That's good.
Tricky with regenerators.
I imagine probably so. Well, thank you very much. We all appreciate your help in this way. What is the state of everything outside? We must find out what's going on with everyone.
There has been an attack, of course, as you realize. Many people have died. We will gladly escort you to oversee the events. Please be aware the bridge is currently out.
She's walked past you.
And as I walk and say, and our compatriots are working on repairing it.
And she begins making her way down, and eventually comes to the outside where the bridge is gone, and you have that moment of whoa, 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 and she just like holds the scepter and just like jabs it at the ground and begins mumbling, and you just begin hearing, and maybe about 10 foot up, earth just like rises above water level between the 2 points.
Oh.
And she claws into like the side of the ground as she begins like sliding down. The other, like, you guys are waiting for a reaction. The other orcs are right next to her, but they're not, say, panicked at her thing, but her hands just like essentially claws extend out and she drags herself down from here, and just like there's that moment of, if ever you've seen like a dog or a cat, there's like the hand is in the river and there's just like dirt pouring off of it as she just like begins hobbling her way over to the other side, and then she points at one of the other ones who lift her and carry her up the side. No. You guys eventually make your way back over, and whilst you're doing that, the rest of the party, people are fucking miserable. There's a lot of dead. All in all, between the giant and others, there's about 5 villagers dead. But the tally on the other side is far more considerable. Eventually, you are aware as well, the artificer, or the gunslinger, they do re-emerge, the elven one. They are fed up to the heavens. All my gunpowder. All my fucking gunpowder. Fuck. Just sopping wet and miserable.
Just going to go around and help tend to any wounded and general cleric behaviour.
Serenus, were you going to say something?
He's 100% not there. Or he's muted this whole game.
Rude.
Definitely just spoke.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Serenus,
Heard him.
do you want to do anything? I thought you were going to say something there, sir. Well, hold off on
Okay,
that.
we're gonna carry on then.
I
Sorry,
was
Lola,
going
you
to
said
say I would, if she lets me, I will be beside Renara, basically providing any moral support as I can, as a well-meaning bard with a good heart.
A spoony bard, as you were. Do you want to use up a few spell slots, or are you just going to be going around Renara, just like trying to stop at death door kind of things?
I've got like 1 or 2 spell slots left. I don't mind throwing that out.
I have a healing word as well that I wouldn't mind using a few spell slots to cover as well.
Okay. So you guys use your last 2 spell slots, you begin topping things up. The dwarf already begins to dismantle the cannon, as it were, setting it up. And it's a few mechanisms and like maybe 10 minutes of time of them just like twisting between bars and cogs and the like before the cannon more or less folds into itself into like a 5-foot thing that can just be lifted from one side by, say, a donkey and pulled. The others around, there's the half-orc captain from previous who first greeted you when you first came through the far side originally. Seems like the older orc that was often like rough around him has passed, got taken out during the fighting, and the bandits and the ogres. The ogres are being the most difficult, but the bodies are being just dragged onto like the east side, just outside the entire hold.
If got a minute before everyone, because Runar and Loyalty have gone off and are doing medic stuff, I'll quickly go over to where the like gate to the town, like the bridge was, and just like look out at that kind of area, make sure like there's nothing lurking in the tree line or anything
Make
while
a
they're
perception
recovering.
check.
Why do I keep putting myself in this position?
Why do you?
Assist,
I'm not good at this.
because I'm
You have
not really doing
advantage
anything.
because Wittig is pointing, going, "Hey, look out there."
Thank God.
You can see just like the
Yeah.
grey mist of rain in the
I'm
distance.
too tired to do this.
Yeah, the adrenaline is dying down now in all of you, and there's like a little bit of a headache. You're not really focusing. Eventually, the matron does poke her head back over towards all of the situation. And begins walking around, like, making note of who's dead. Like, which ones are alive. And you can tell as well those clawed, like, gnarly hands have just kind of, like, receded. And she's got, like, this, like, heavy, messy kind of layers upon layers on. That kind of just fade off at the shoulders. And just, basically there's a few, like, people who are either in mourning or otherwise, like, emotional at this time, and she just begins wrapping and pulling people towards herself. We're going to get everyone up into the keep, and when we do that, we will try to do our best to make sure everyone is as best taken care of for now. She looks to some of the people who are guarding her. Go and clean up the area and let me know once everything that was in the main hall is gone. They nod and go back. They seem to have gotten a small ladder that they're going to just jab into the ground on the far side to climb up. And they're going to work on that. So, oh my. Oh no, this village has taken some hardships already. Tell me, is the thing that assaulted me in the keep gone?
Oh, what? We've killed it, ma'am.
There is the sound of several screaming children.
Sorry. Don't worry, children. It's
No scatters.
Nope.
The giant robot man covered in black ichor. Don't worry, it is dead.
Lo will
I grab a blanket out of the bag.
Lo will try
cover
and
it.
run over to the kids and try and calm them down if at all possible.
Sorry.
So the large antlered man with hooves begins walking towards the children, and they
Clop,
bolt.
clop, clop, clop.
Someone turned the light. The cockroaches all just went ping.
Oh dear.
Why didn't I think about the cover earlier? Anyway.
Yeah.
Someone's like supposed to handed it to you. It's like, not my problem now. Well, I'm glad it is gone. It is dead. The why of it attacking, I don't know. This is an unfortunate. And it's just like clutching onto like a scepter that she has. That's just like cast in this like almost silver line kind of metal. It's like a simple cylinder that goes up to gilded around the sides with gold to like a almost like a mace kind of styled head. I hope our messages get through. I've asked for help. Help shouldn't be too far away. For now, thank you to the people who have come to help us. To the dwarf, his associate, and to you few heroes as well that came. Thank you.
We apologize we could not arrive sooner.
You arrived when you did and saved most of us. We cannot thank you more than that. I wish we had something to give you, but our gratitude and a warm bed, should you ever come through, is what I could provide for now.
We require naught. Your thanks is more than enough.
With that said, once Once everything is cleared out, there will be space now in the keep. We hope that we will have some time to heal and recover. If there's nothing that you require of me, I'm going to tend to my people.
I was just going to ask if you don't mind. That is, just to sort of help us try to work out what happened. Do you know, like, why this happened, or who it might have been?
We don't know. Not to my knowledge, anyway. We have suspicions, but suspicions are just that. With no evidence, there's nothing that could be presented or derived to any authorities that could help us.
I mean, if I may, who do you suspect?
A group of people who do not wish for communities like ours to thrive.
I.e. the night that I...
We cannot make presumptions because doing so makes us no better without proof. However, I cannot say the words, but I agree with the sentiment.
The thing of it is the last time we came through here, on our way to Bryn Shandar, there was a knight that was here, but he was different from regular human. So I feel they may not be... I feel they may have some connections, to say. Speculation, entirely. But they may have connections in terms of demonic or fiendish style.
Well, if that's the case, they've fallen from whatever little grace they had, and given your assessment, would you... Yes? And notices Posey just begins going,
Oh no, that was out of character.
Okay.
Out of character question.
Okay.
Can I, when Nariman starts speculating about the demonic, can I insight check not just her, but the people that she's with?
In what regard?
Like, if they are surprised by that word coming out.
Okay. Make an insight check.
I want to see how much of this is already, like, the popular
The
understanding,
knowledge.
shall we say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number today. Much better modifier. Doesn't matter.
Ones are ones. Whilst two or three of them seem, uneasy as the phrasing gets raised, it's not an uneasement of surprise. It's an uneasement of a topic they don't want to discuss, or
Yeah,
it
the
begins being
demonic, right,
broached.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, go.
But I will say, certainly not surprised.
But be that as it may, again, it is all just speculation. So, I mean,
If you don't mind, most of my people, it seems, have begun taking remains over on the far side. If any of you have a strong stomach, could you perhaps check through and see if they have any instructions? If any of them received anything like orders?
I will assist on that.
Yeah, I
Pen
can
to
help.
paper. Pen
Yeah,
to paper
I'll-
would be perfect for what we need.
quick. Renara,
Yeah, uh-huh.
I'm just gonna set this down here. Do with it as you will. Don't you know?
Um,
Use. You,
I
you sure?
mean, we're going to a corpse pile. Maybe take it there.
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped.
Well, is there a bonfire anywhere?
Not yet, and given the like drizzle that's starting to hit, bonfire isn't going to be the easiest thing to set up.
Shit. Alright.
In a minute, Widdick.
Well, alright, fine. I'll just put it down on the ground, keep it covered with the blanket. Alright, that's fine.
On the mention of demonic and fiendish entities, Lo will take out, well, basically just lift the coat up and try and cover the horns.
No, the antlers.
The antlers, yeah.
Ah, you're fair, you're fine. Anyway. Time to go to the roof.
Faye, Fiend,
Fuck.
what's the
What a
difference?
thing
One
to
wants one
say!
wants to kill you, one
You're
wants to fuck
Faye,
you.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Or are you a fine Faye?
Please don't.
Stop me. Do it. Stop me.
No, that's low.
So, Widdick, you're going out to the bodies.
Yeah.
Me and King are also going.
Yep.
Ooh, check it out, the body.
We're going to investigate to see if there's any evidence on these peoples.
Okay. I
Yep,
will
me-
say, with the three of you out there, make an investigation check.
Before we go,
Sorry,
there
excuse
any-
me.
sorry.
Before anything is rolled, one of you can make an investigation check with advantage. Given that there's three of you, I'm going to lower the DC, but there will be an advantage check from one person. So choose who it is. King, what were you going to say?
Before we go, we'll ask the matron if there's hallowed ground to make sure whoever did this does not decide to reuse things.
As grim as it sounds, we haven't had time to build a graveyard.
We will do our best to ensure they don't rise again under the controls of your enemies.
That's not something we've often had to worry about. Now I'm going to think about it a lot. Thank you.
I know it's a grim topic, but with infernal potential
You
influence.
depress me. Go away.
Very well.
Phew.
Girls, what's your modifier for investigation?
+3.
I have a +4.
That's 4.
Who's got the current winning rate on chess?
I can
good question.
tell you.
I have beaten King 3 times.
Yeah, you have beaten King 3 times.
I'm gonna say Widdick gets to make the check then with advantage.
Yes, I'm keeping track of this. It's important.
That's wonderful.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, but Widdick's beaten me 3 times. How many other times have I beaten Widdick?
This is the problem. I have not been keeping track of how many games have been won. Only people
Oh.
who have beaten King and how many times.
Nice.
Okay. Investigation with advantage.
So Widdick, you begin checking through the bodies. The ogres, you're very glad as a
Isn't it?
robot you don't really smell as you work through the ogres. And they're like jerkined armor and like linen kind of attires, and a lot of it is not well kept. But you're not finding much on the ogres. One of the humans seems to be in a lot more glitz and glamour. And you do find on his personage a small chest. And you open it up, and it's actually a chest about the base of this.
Who just keeps a chest in their back pocket? Look.
See
No
the
chest.
bottom side of this?
Yeah.
About that size. Like that's its like size with like just a lid that pops off. And
That would
in
have laughed so
that,
hard if everyone else in the chat besides Naren pulled out chest.
I mean, I think we can.
It says a lot about me that I immediately started
Oh, I've
thinking
got
about
that
Treasure Island.
I've got two.
One doesn't make any noise anymore.
Anyway,
Remind us.
let's stop showing off our chests before we get struck out of Twitch. So, let's be real. I get my tits out first. Anyway, so you begin searching, and one of them is a gaudy of the captain, and he was one who portion of his torso got blown off by the cannon before he could ever make any worthwhile decisions like running away. And you do find on a belt compartment on him the small chest that you lift out, and it has 90 pieces of platinum in it.
I scoop that into the bag of holding.
And you begin checking his other pockets, and you can find no notes. He doesn't seem to have any on his belt. You check his pockets, he doesn't seem to have anything in his pants pockets. And you just begin checking on the inside of his shirt or that. Is there anything anywhere else on his body you want to check?
Let's see, Roman used to keep money in his shoe. Let's go check his shoes.
You make me so happy sometimes.
Are you serious?
You pull off both
Go ahead.
boots. The first boot you pull off, there's nothing in it. The second boot you pull off, there's nothing in it. But when you moved it off, as you held the sole of the foot, you can hear paper. And you go, huh? You pull it off, and you find the smelliest note you've probably ever found.
It's like checking
Oh,
behind
God.
the waterfall!
Check the boot! Always check the boot! Worst case
Okay.
scenario, free boots. You're feeling that if you try to open this up in the rain as it is, it's probably going to get destroyed in all of 2 seconds.
That in the bag of holding for now. Keep it out dry.
Aside from that, these are just rough and tumble humans. People who doesn't seem like they've gotten, say, maybe either good... they've not had easy lives. You can quite easily tell that. These are people who are rough, roady kind of people. Yes, Curls, as you raise you the handy.
Are any of them... Do I recognize any of them from the mercenary circuit? Not
couldn't
even know them, just have seen them.
Make an
in those kind of
intelligence
areas.
check.
I'm harvesting.
I'm trying to work out
What are you?
if they're
What are you been running with the?
loyal to this or hired.
We did my
Intelligence
best
check,
goal.
you said?
Intelligence check or history, your choice.
Equally bad.
Every option I'm giving you is equally bad. Fuck off.
It's fine.
You do
Don't
not
worry.
recognize any of them.
That's fine. Everything is equally bad when you don't have good stats.
Your dex is alright, but
I don't care.
unfortunately you
I was about
can't.
to go. I was about to make a joke. Just go. Have I seen any of them at church?
Y'all need Jesus.
Yes.
Y'all ugly. That's what they only did last week. Y'all ugly. And you followed him.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a note. Money.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys are doing while you're out here looking at dead bodies?
I might. Oh, sorry, King. Did you want to say something?
So we recognize these as definitely the people who attacked us.
Oh yeah, the people that attacked you are definitely the ones on the outside.
I might start trying to just wrap with whatever I can scrounge up, 2 of them up and separate them a bit.
There isn't much materials to fully wrap someone up. The most these guys have
More
done
just cover
is,
when I say wrap, I should say.
best you could do is just cover their faces and part
That
of their
works.
arms with cloaks.
Yep.
And as you guys make your way back to town, and as the other party are inside, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay,
Break time.
break time. Get spooked. We'll be back shortly.
Mostly because I need a pee. Purdy
And
lady.
we're back.
Hello. Ignore the fact that I just said Purdy lad. So, the three of you had gone outside to investigate bodies. Return back in with the details and the information you had. Serenus, you're giving a hand in the actual village. And there are a few people who, a lot of them are tired, a lot of them are exhausted, but see you in your own battered state chipping in. It's appreciated. And they do appreciate you. You are giving a good help. Eventually, there's a signaling to be done that the keep is now cleared. People can go in. The stonework is raised up by the matron, and eventually she gets it all the way to sort. It is not a perfect, and it definitely would not be a permanent, especially because it now blocks the river. It will be worn out over time, but a temporary earth mound is raised, and people can make their way across into the much safer keep. The blood is still on the walls, but a lot of people make their way to the second level where there wasn't as much conflict, and a sincere number of people just make their way into rooms that have beds, and families come together. People just go to sleep. It's already getting later on into the day after helping out with the rubble, the investigation in the bodies and the like. And with all that, the matron does then have you summoned up to her private quarters. Those of you who are willing to come, make your way. The room itself, eventually, now it's not as turned over as it was when you first saw it. It is a simple, very meager room. It's got a desk for writing on, ink and quill. Their papers have been messily resorted and put back on the desk, and clean and blank papers where she's currently just like trying to scrawl things down as if taking note of people who have been lost, things that have been damaged and otherwise. And she's not alone in the room, as the slightly translucent skinned figure, the changeling who had served as her body double, is in there with her, currently pouring a cup of tea.
Before
Yes.
we would have been summoned, once I was out of the rain, I would like to have read the paper.
Okay, so once you get into the keep, the only real place where you have kind of shelter, you step away where there's like just a torch behind you, and you take it out. It's kind of water stained at the sides, like the corners, but you can read it perfectly fine. You must get in there and do as much damage as possible. We've been promised a lot more if the city gets burnt. Do this for me, and I'll take you on a lot more missions. And the name that's inscribed on the bottom is in a language you don't understand.
Right.
But it is written in common. Actually, fair point. What languages do you speak before I talk out of my ass?
What's the
Common,
script?
giant, primordial, and gnomish.
Language you don't speak.
Fuck!
Does he recognize the script?
You have seen Infernal script. Just cannot speak it.
Trying to think. Does anyone in the party speak Infernal? Let's see.
In case you're talking, Crows, you are muted, just a heads up.
Nope. Nope, she's just laughing.
Why would Kelstal, her character can't speak Infernal?
Yeah.
She's a warlock.
Yeah.
Warlocks learn that, don't they?
Who here speaks Infernal?
Hey, Percy.
Do you know anyone that speaks Infernal?
I know you're big into books and stuff. You happen to know what the script is?
I'm assuming I do. I don't speak it, but I'm assuming I recognize what it is. Yes.
You are aware that it is a name written down at the bottom. Do you speak Infernal? Am I correct in that, or are we just shooting the shit?
No, I don't.
I figured.
I forgot to
Oh,
check.
there you are.
Hey, Loyalty, you've been to a few planes. Do you speak Infernal?
I'm laughing at. I'm like, we have a
tiefling in the party!
Yeah.
I'm not saying a thing!
How did both of you not realise that? What's what both me and Carl's
Oh, no.
laughing at?
I know exactly the most teaching you tiefling.
Oh, I don't have to say shit. I'll let y'all motherfuckers think.
I know.
The
That's why it's more
past
funny
self
this
of me
way.
that played Glory for 4 years was fucking losing it.
I was like, surely at some point somebody's gonna make the joke. Is somebody gonna act? No, okay. You just missing the point.
No, because I knew this would be funnier.
Gonna lose it in the corner. I just
Anyway.
I just go, no, but I just kind of gesture over in Loyalty's general
No
direction.
No, it's just there.
Hello.
Bring the answers.
He looks like a lantern currently. That's just like a big ornate lantern that's got a drape thrown over the top of it. It's like a little walking chandelier.
It's a very nice cosplay you have. Can you come here?
Okay. Fine. What up?
You happen to be able to read this bottom? I've never seen the language. I mean, I know the script at least, but I just don't know the language.
I do actually know.
The name is Yanto.
So
Y-A-N-T-O in common.
Lo will just casually read it. Just read the name Yanto, and then suddenly just go. Well, that's a thing.
Cool.
Do you know anyone
Lo
like
just
that?
sort of casually hands it back,
Neat. I don't want this anymore.
and then continues doing this.
Oh, are you in disguise? Alright.
And
Alright.
Lo then just points to the antlers.
Forgot about that, yeah. Wittick's not really surprised by a lot of stuff anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, right, antlers. Forgot about that.
The equivalent of my cousin is a purple bird. Sparkles.
Like, yeah.
And
It
the
is what it is.
tail
And she's
just-
one of the more calm and like consistent
Yeah.
and regular of my friends.
and the tail,
it was
as
clarified
he
on day
turns
one.
around, the tail, which is
Clarified on day one. that very
flickering like an
rarely-
angry cat.
Very rarely is Wittick and Keeka surprised by anything.
Fucking right.
When those two are surprised, the rest are worried. It's like,
Alright, so,
They
yeah.
ain't
I'm
seen
pretty
this
sure
shit.
you're all surprised by King's appearance.
True.
That was more out of
Like,
character.
just so normal.
Why can't
yes.
you just be normal? Nemo noises.
Yes. Give the infernal to the tiefling currently having an identity crisis. Sure.
Yep.
Aw.
He's had an identity crisis since you met him.
Anyway.
But yeah,
that does
grumpy
confirm
cat
s-
tail as he turns round and returns back to sulking. Yeah.
Well, that does confirm some suspicion.
It is generally bad, though, when you're getting a letter like that and it's signed in Infernal.
True. True. Put that back in the bag. So, I feel at this point then it would be a case of, oh hey, we get called.
After all this, definitely. And
Like before we even can speculate on it, just like, oh yes, right.
you are summoned in. There isn't as much of space for all of you, so there's a select few of you that are just like at the door, kind of like leaning in.
Just because it's obvious. Sorry. As we're summoned in, Lo will probably put the elf form on.
Elf mode.
Oh.
Elf mode. But it's obvious that something is on his mind. Was on his mind beforehand, because there's one brown streak and there's one pink streak. But anyway.
So, I wanted to thank you all again for everything you did. I don't know most of you by name, but what I do know is people in this town won't forget what you did for them. Furthermore, if you ever need a place to stay, you are welcome here. And now we get to a bit more business at hand. Did you happen to find anything?
Ah, yes. Pull the letter out and hand it to her.
The letter ticks out of your hand and begins being unfolded and read. But not by her. It's just held by someone next to you. You can just see the finger is just like kind of crumpled against it, but it's invisible.
And reaches in bag for lantern. No.
After a moment, the letter gets left down in her desk. And as it does, the hand in this black leather gauntlet up to a suit, leather armor, hood over the top, you see a drow.
Oh, hey, Uncle.
And it is not who we think it is.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
It is Nezanar.
You feel a knife plummet into your back.
Valmagulis.
There's the
Sorry, I keep sending stuff in chat. I'm leaning on the keyboard. Sorry.
I was wondering.
That means I'm writing something because I'm pressing on where that is.
Posey keeps using that
annoying
that
anime
speech
dot
option.
dot.
That speech
Yeah,
option in
please.
combat was just like,
No,
keep listening.
what's really happened is that Posey has just like gotten into an encounter happening, but she keeps like missing the cooldown on the typer, so it just goes to the dot option.
Lo
there is
kind
a
of-
happy chirp.
Lo does a sort of double take and sort of under his breath, sort of goes, okay.
As Nezanar leaves down the letter, his body language is definitely uneasy, and he's standing more or less kind of at the matron's back, but between the matron and all of you and the changeling, just between them, almost like as a kind of point of guard. Whilst we do not know who this individual who has signed this contract is, we are aware that they've been hired by an ulterior source. Potentially this is just a middleman job. And I intend to find out who hired them. You don't happen to have anything or any portion of anything that I could use to talk to, do you?
Sorry, what's he asking?
Be right back.
There's-
I've run down the fucking. Shit, fuck.
Get
Garp! Garp!
back.
You have Garm go with it. I take it you're bringing it ahead.
Yeah, just that, like, Oh yeah, shit. Just out the door.
He's like, who forgot their instructions? Fuck! Hang on! It's in my car! I'm just waiting
It's
for the
really
Buddha
Terminator
Like,
running
just-
throughout the castle.
No, because I'm just like sending a message to Garm, like, "Hey, that,
Dog.
Garm, go grab the head real quick. Bring it up to the
Which you can
ladder."
definitely do, and it gets to a point with you, and most of it had been like done up to a point where you could walk up to it, so there's a few people who get the fuck out of the way of the massive mechanical dog. They just which is playing the most gruesome game of fetch, because the sack has fallen off. It's just holding
No!
the head.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Damn it, Garm!
Taylor going like
Turn
mad.
off! I can't put it back in! I don't have thumbs!
I fetched the thing! I good boy!
I don't have thumbs! I can't put it back in the bag!
The good
Grab
boy's
it.
Oh
gone.
god! Oh god!
I mean, it was literally just a blanket
Honey,
that was sitting on it.
honey, it's Cerberus in the sack.
Cerberus accepts the Sata sack.
We have a pile of Sata parts.
Hmm.
Right. I'll grab the head from him and then go. Alright, thank you. Good boy. Stay out here. I'll be back.
Woof.
Cool. Now we get to go fight a god.
And then run back upstairs. Shit, fuck. Alright, here you go.
Not only was that quick, but... Oh, Anoni.
Yeah.
Oof, never fun.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay, I need a corner. All of you out of the room. Please.
Which corner you want?
I'm
Out of the room, so we all leave.
Well, yeah, I realized that, but he said a corner. So,
Come on,
where does he want me
Bluebird.
to put in the corner?
He's already holding it.
Alright.
He leaves it like down at like a corner close to the door, like getting all of you getting everyone except the matron is just like kicked out of the room more or less. And he just like reaches like underneath into like a pouch at his like collar and begins pulling out a chain, and at the end of it is a small crystal. And he holds it over his the head in a position like as if it's on a semantic thing, and just begins mumbling something, and the head just lopes back its tongue, but as it begins doing, he reaches in and grips the tongue.
Oh.
And for a brief moment you can hear what sounds like pained screams, but just very, it's as if you're hearing it muffled from 3 rooms away, even though you're right next to it. And this muffling continues for about a minute in 5 bursts. And at the end of it, just begin hearing a sizzling sound. And Nezanar stands back up and just like has his hand to the door as he begins cleaning it off, just to indicate to wait. And the sizzling stops after about another minute. Okay, you may come back in. The head's no longer there.
Okay, good.
So, good
No,
news. I
protective-
found out
Protective arm.
this happens to be the individual who wrote the letter. Apparently coerced into this by some form of incubi. Refused to give a name, but I do now know that at least some form. I would like everyone to remain here, please. As I was saying, some form of incubi, or a subcategory of the like, hired him, which then implies that manipulations are at foot, and they may be somewhere dangerous or somewhere in power, but my job is to root out those kind of people and make sure they threaten no one who is important to me in any way, shape, or form. and I can find them if I need to. So, good news. I'm going to resolve this issue of this tempter who happens to have weaseled their way into some place of power. All in all, from what I've seen outside and the fact that this was the person orchestrating this, I'm actually impressed by all of you. That's not an easy feat. Onis by themselves are tricky and dangerous. And from what I heard from the whispers of the guards, you have all also dealt with demons? Fiends are nasty creatures as well, so I'm impressed, sincerely. And I will now begin an investigation as to why. Well, the why I think is quite obvious, well, from what I understand. Bear in mind, by the way, I was teleported here all of 30 minutes ago, so I might be a bit out of the loop. I now know how they were paid, and they will essentially cause damage. The why is what I don't have yet.
To be fair, you seem to be more in the loop than we are.
It's my job to be in the loop. If I'm not in the loop, I'm going to be sacked or I'm killed.
Okay, so the one that wrote the letter was the Oni,
Yes.
and they hired all of these guys just to cause some trouble.
Hired them more specifically to kill the matron, primarily, and kill
Well,
anyone else they got their hands on.
Well, the letter said just basically fuck shit up. It didn't
Oh yes, that's what the
say-
letter said. The Oni said other things.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because from what it sounds like to me, it sounds like the Oni hired these guys as a distraction so he could get.
That was
To
its
matron.
plan, yes.
Right. Okay.
It didn't have much choice in relinquishing that information.
It
So,
still counts as conspiracy to commit.
oh, make no mistake, it's
I mean, they're
more
all
than
dead,
enough.
so-
These individuals have been dealt with. Their bodies should be burnt, disposed of, as any should. It's whoever hired the Oni that I'm now going to be pursuing.
Wait, King, do you need the bodies or?
Why would you need the bodies?
I do not need the bodies, but I was thinking of raising a couple to help us in our...
I will skin you alive and hang you from the side of this town.
Then I shall not.
Good. Whittick,
Yes.
they raise anything, you kill them.
Okay.
Good. Necromancy is a no-go.
I mean, resurrection.
I am afraid I will not be casting many spells.
Pity to you then, get creative.
Wait, sorry, sir. So if, for example, Kika falls in battle, we're not allowed to do necromantic magic to resurrect her?
To raise the undead, and to raise someone back to life are two different elements. One binds a soul to one's dominion, the other one puts the soul back in the body. Don't play the game with me, I know the rules.
Oh, it's a genuine question.
It is the forcing of one's will over others, which necromancy, when used to raise as undead, do exactly that.
But
So,
does that just
do not play that game.
No, it's a genuine question.
Yes,
But so if something's resurrected, false resurrection, does the soul remain in the body and they're controlling the soul, or are they just controlling the shell of the body?
Sorry, I only heard half of that because I got shouted at. What's up?
Basically asking, like, so if they're resurrected, does the soul stay in the body, or is it just?
I assure you
a
the
husk?
soul does not stay in the body.
Well, then,
But
then they're
a
not
portion of it
forcing
goes to
soul-
the afterlife, a portion of it gets trapped in there, enough to keep its autonomy, its memories for its basic functions. It's messy.
Oh, okay.
And depending on how much effort you put in, depends how much you get. You want someone who's fully coherent, you raise them more.
That's interesting.
It's messy. Do not play with it. Do not discuss it. Necromancy is a no-go. It got outlawed 19 years ago for a reason. To raise a companion or a wayward person who you found who has been injured on the road, who just passed away, these things are different because you're giving them back their autonomy. They want to go hurl themselves off a bridge later, they can do it, but it'll be their choice to do it later.
So necromancy as a school is allowed, raising is not. Understood.
Binding souls. That's
Right,
the
right.
key point.
That's the part.
Because I don't care what you say you do or don't, if you raise a zombie, you raise a skeleton, you raise any form of undead, you bind a portion to it. How much of it you do and how dominant your mind is over it varies. But it's the fact you do that. Don't get caught doing it. If you're doing it,
That's the important part.
do not get caught. Because there are people here I care about. But you would all be liable if a single one of you did it. If you did not stop them, if you did not apprehend them, or you did not handle the issue. For example, if you raise someone from the dead, you kill that zombie and you make sure they do not raise another person. But if you're complicit to it, issues arise. Don't do that. Are we clear?
Understood.
Necromancy is a no-go topic. Queen's orders on that. Very strict for a reason.
Wait, what queen?
The
The
Queen.
Queen.
I thought there was a king.
There is a king.
There is a king, but Legacy often makes some of these rules herself. However, they will always be approved by him, but it will be her who raises them.
Right. Gotcha.
It's like the idea of if I had an idea to raise so that every meeting had a cupcake for everyone in it, I raised the idea.
He approves.
That's a good idea. Let's raise that.
that is
you?
actually a good-
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, thank
So
you.
why is there no cupcake at this meeting?
Because this is informal.
It's-
I'm not here.
It's not an officially sanctioned.
Indeed.
You are,
Gotcha.
but you're right there.
No,
Yes,
no,
but
no,
if
no,
any of you
no.
speak about the
He
fact
is
of it, I am not here.
If I may bring up one other question on the matter of binding souls, I am vaguely aware of a necromantic spell which could do such a thing as to entrap the full soul. Would that be acceptable against the demon kin to ensure their
If you
inability to
can
resurrect?
possess, if you can raise a demon's body, you're kind of out of the jurisdiction of most kingdoms. Given the fact that very few demons, if any, leave a body.
Yes, there might be one to trap later, but I'll keep that in mind that there is no law towards that to. It may
Well,
be
if you
effectual
bring a
later if I have one.
raised Baylor into a town, I doubt people are going to be pleased.
I would not be raising it, I would simply be trapping the soul. There is a difference.
Dropping it in a form of flesh, dropping it in some sort of arcane jar, or whatsoever.
Exactly, jar would probably be the
I'm
most
very aware
accurate.
of that one. Be careful with it.
Oh, yes. There is an actual spell called Soul Trap.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
aware.
that one.
Out of character, I'm very aware of the shit you're asking about. And I'm like, you're dancing there, buddy. You're dancing.
Low.
I'm just imagining later, like, out of character. Just like, oh yeah, so, let's see, out of the bag of holding, let's see, no, not the Screaming Baylord in the jar, not that one in the jar, not this one in... Shut up.
I think
Oh, here it is.
keep one.
I'm kind of feeling partially called out here, just saying.
Why?
In a jar. Okay.
Yes, but there's love in this jar. There's screaming demons in this jar.
Yeah,
And this one has a succubus soul. There's a difference.
That's a different type of love.
Ugh, no. Please.
we can do it.
So, with all that said, now that I've somehow given you a crash course on do not use necromancy in this kingdom, I'm aware of what's happening. I'm trying to ignore it.
Alright.
Blue, are you okay?
I'm fine, carry on.
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Now that I've given a somewhat crash course on do not use necromancy in the 10 towns, I will research the matter of who hired the Oni. And while I do that, you have your own objective to get back to. I'm curious if you've had any updates, because I can transfer anything back.
Nothing worth of note, although we are on a bit of a schedule. We have a couple in our party, things need doing. We have to continue on with our own mission.
Well, that's not
We
true,
are,
King. We found a spire.
Yeah. We
You found another one.
Something of significant note.
Excellent. Excellent.
I was about to say, we have found a spire and we are tracking down the others.
That's progress.
But beyond that, no particular
nothing-
information about our enemy movements or anything.
Krauser, you're being very particular. I need a deception check.
No, I was being,
Nothing of note.
no, I was being sarcastic. I'm not saying it to deceive. I was saying it sarcastically because King was like nothing of note. Oh, but we found the spire. Well, that is kind of note.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're not
sorry.
wrong.
I thought you were insisting on the. Oh no, nothing of note.
Did
No,
read
no.
the-
I
Very
was
weird.
saying it obviously sarcastically, like nothing
Okay.
of note.
Yeah.
We only found the spire.
That's why Giga was just like, what?
I was like, well, that kind of is a note.
That's a very
So
good
you found
point.
that.
It's very much of that.
Was this with other Gith like the first one was? What was the story?
Yeah,
with
it's-
this? These are the reactions of adventurers who have seen shit.
Shit.
You could say
Speak up,
that.
shit.
Yeah.
This is an
Yeah.
active matter. Do we have any ability to stop ears?
You see him like reach into like his back molar and begins pulling, and you can just see a silver wire
That's not healthy.
begins pulling out. You'd be surprised how useful it is. And he just like flicks it up into the air,
Not there, it's not.
and for a moment it stretches around the top of the room. Okay, no one's watching, unless they're literally leaning outside the window.
I look out the window.
I go to the window.
Apologies, I'm
Riddick,
concerned with the nature of
Right.
this matter. Discussing
You both put your
the,
heads out separate windows, like meh, meh.
I am concerned with the nature of our mission being directly from the king and the acquisition of said spies. So, we did indeed find one.
Good.
The way we found it, I would let somebody else speak because I don't want to do all the talking.
Well, it was like it was in like a bear spirit thing.
Bear, big.
It was a very
big-
big,
Wait, like literally jammed in a bear.
yeah, like
big,
physically.
big.
Why the
Bear,
fuck would you
in-
jam spire in a bear? What the heck?
Not in the nicest place, gotta admit.
Yeah.
mean,
Here.
there's
in-
worse
in
places
the
where
front
people
eye.
get stuck.
Yeah.
Quiet, young lady.
In skull.
Okay, well,
yeah.
you now have the spire, so
Yeah.
that's good. I was
Yeah.
more concerned if there was going to be, if you had mentioned if there were Gith there or anything like that, but didn't seem like
It
there
does
was.
appear
No.
from our investigation.
Why are you biting your finger?
Well, there's get the shit.
Yeah, there
You
was
told me
a
to be
ship.
quiet.
So
There
there was a
there
ship.
was, yes. The bear did appear to attack the ship and their people. We do not know how the spire got into said bear. We are not sure if it was a natural bear prior to the spire being inserted into it. It was behaving very strangely, seemed to be infused with some sort of power. After its death, it seemed to return back as a spirit.
Probably
after we
not a
removed the
natural bear. Gonna take
That is
a
our
hunch.
understanding. Of course, we do not know the nature of the spires ourselves. That is not part of information revealed to us on our mission. But
Yeah.
evidence suggests that this was not a plan for our enemy, rather that something went awry as it did attack them. However, this could also lead to possibility that they were using some sort of experiment that went wrong, or this was an intentional act to weed out certain individuals within their party. This is unclear.
Oh,
These are
you
a
know,
lot of presumptions you're making, but presumptions.
Exactly.
Local-
I am only
local
showing you these
legend
options.
Type thing, maybe.
Probably, maybe. I haven't spent too much time outside Bryn Shandar. I really don't like the cold. But, however, you didn't get anything else, but you did encounter ships that got wrecked. Are these wreckages nearby at all? Because I might take a look.
No, they're up.
We have
on
lost
the,
track of them.
They're up like on
Yeah.
the 10 trail, like not far from where we found it. So very cold.
Fair point.
Like they were getting snowed in even when we were there.
They'll
We-
probably be covered by the time I get there then, and I got other stuff to look into. Fair point. Okay, that's all
We
good.
did consider stopping for investigation. We decided it would be ill-advised, being we would be risking the spire that we had just retrieved.
And if you say so, fair enough. Alright, so that's the bits you've gotten so far. Firstly, well done on getting that spire. That's one step. Tell me, was there any particular school of magic with the spire by any chance?
Feverishly scrolls back through notes.
Yeah,
No,
it was evocation.
Magic was cast.
Was evocation?
So that's two types already been revealed.
Yeah, keep it to electric and
Yeah, because it was all mental.
Okay. Keep an eye out for if... I have a theory. Keep an eye out about the other spires if they have any reference to other schools of magic. Right. You all look in varying stages of fucking shattered.
Small sparks coming from Wittig. No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're literally shattered.
Just kind of a twitch of the.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, no. I'm good. I'm good.
Having a slight malfunction.
Low,
You need to lie
low
down.
twitches as well, but more for
Different
static.
reasons. Okay. With that said, you all have things you need to do. You need to keep doing. And whilst you all do that, I'm going to go procuring. And I might be back into the town before you leave. I might not be. By the way, don't be worried. And I imagine you'll be leaving sometime soon.
yeah,
If we do
before
not see you, we will assume your job is going correctly.
Oh, and we took care of those things in Luskin. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But just before you do go as well, just
Did everything seem okay in Luskin?
yes.
Good.
And I'll kind of.
just
Oh, well, go ahead, Kate.
no, go on.
I'll just kind of lean up to him and go. Also, cute. Anyway, and then kind of lean back.
There is all of 1 second of a smirk before it's just straight.
You broke him.
Broke him for a second, but that composure came right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not just before you do go as well. Just obviously, I'm assuming there's a high chance we'll encounter some gift while we're looking for these things. Have you got any advice what we should do if we encounter any? And should we try and kill them? Should we try and bargain with them? What your
Githyanki should not be
advice is?
trusted, and Githyanki should be killed on sight because they will do the same to you.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, you'll encounter them in a ship. Given how close we are to certain locations right now, only thing you've encountered as ships is a good thing. However, that's not their only mode of transport.
Oh,
They
yeah,
might-
we saw them on dragons, didn't we? Neverwinter.
In Neverwinter. Be aware that some of the more serious individuals who ride solo may ride in on something which by itself is a danger. However, very obvious, very hard to hide. Be aware of it, fight smart, because they'll fight dirty.
Okay. So if we find any gift, we kill it.
Gets Yankee. Kill Get Yankee.
What about gift on Yankee?
There's a Gith on Yankee.
Well, you're saying it like there's a different type of gift, is there, or
Uh,
like you're specifically saying gift Yankee, like
I know that's what the ones I've been encountering called. That's what they call themselves when I have the right spell up to listen to them
right, okay,
and what they say when they're screaming.
and they're all bad.
I've not encountered one yet that hasn't tried to plunge something into my gut.
We are at war. Bad and good are a bit subjective.
Bad and good are always subjective. It's doing what's
Precisely.
necessary.
Says Nezanar.
Okay.
That's a man who can't live on what's good and bad. It's what's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So if we encounter any gift Yankee, we should kill them and then let you know.
Not every time. Don't chime in.
But like, if we then meet you like now, we should tell you if we've encountered any gift Yankee.
That way we can at least know where they're trying to aim
Okay.
attentions, shall we say. It's one of those things of the more that we learn, they've been very active here, have they been quiet in other places? Does that mean they're focusing attention in this location? Why are they focusing attention in this location? What's unique about it?
Do you know any places that they've been busy? As of warning to us? Seeing as, like, 2 of these spires seem to have had activity around them and that's what we're looking for?
I would say you could expect them, the closer you get to Aspire, whether or not they like to admit it, the Gith are actually helping in that way. When you see them, you know you're getting closer. Or their wreckage, or whatsoever you encounter.
So we should look at gift movements as a
Keep an eye on
possibility
the
of our
skies.
destination. This is good information.
And more importantly, if they're still there, it means the object is probably also still there because they have not yet found it.
Okay.
That's where your advantages lie. And also, if my theory is right, and if there are separate schools for these, you'll begin picking up more and more which ones are which points and how you can track them. So you can start getting more and more creative, and then you'll be able to round down. Are we looking for signs of conjuration? So are we expecting things to have been summoned around that area? Or is it illusions, and is things not as they should be? That kind of element. That's my theory, given the fact that the previous one seemed to have changed some things up, and the one that you encountered had apparently evocation magic. Things are being rounded down.
Since we're in silence, I also don't mind saying that we intend on heading south. I won't get the particulars because we do have several stops. In case you're wondering where we're going. And also, I have left 3 sets of ears within the school. Literal people, living servants. They will be gathering information if it is necessary there. It's mostly for their safety, but who knows? They may come up with something. I'm talking about the triplet dash.
Nezanar is just glaring at you.
Is that a problem?
Not for long.
The principal led us to believe that wasn't a problem.
She can lead people to many things.
If she is a problem, should I remove my assets from that area?
You're gonna stop talking.
When you said acid, they're not bound souls. They're actually they're actually
I'm
people.
aware they're living people.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we're okay.
Stop talking to me. You've already said too much. I still have things to talk to with the matron. You're excused. Thank you for your efforts today.
Bye.
He just takes away like a thing, like his 2 fingers together from like one point where his thumb and thing were, and there's like a drip of blood from just pressure of a nail in, like embedded through leather. As King kept talking. You guys make your leave?
Yeah.
They make make a point to be the last one to leave, and I kind of look back at him.
It's good to see you.
Only for sake of consistency, story, whatever. Lowell will be standing with his back to the door, by the door frame, not directly in the room, but more there, being protective of Kika, if anything.
It's good to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah. 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 Thanks.
Be safe, okay?
I'm trying.
And be careful who you call friend. You're a good person. Be smart. Please.
Well, Mum knew who to call a friend. So maybe I've learned
I
something.
question her
from
every day. I still question her every day. Go on.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. You just kind of paddle away.
She like holds out
Like a Lalafell, but it's a Kira.
She holds out a hand for loyalty to all go together.
No.
I need more support from brother.
Low takes it, spins around, and then. See? Guy dancing.
But we're on the ground! She just
I'm working it out. I'm working it out.
She fluffs and flutters.
I'm working it out. See? Worked it out.
And I'm gonna show you properly.
And I look forward to it. Now, it just sort of does this little thing with a big. Onwards and upwards, huh?
Okay, but you have to promise me one thing.
Okay.
And she goes up and boops you on the nose, and then she goes, "You need to stop wearing that."
Okay, but complicated, okay? I'm getting there.
You look really pretty as you.
See, I trust you when you're saying that. Fair point. Okay. I don't.
Let's go meet up with everyone else.
You want me to bring you around again?
Yeah.
That's and flush.
3, 2, 1, and poof. Eventually, you all, in your varying degrees of either being around or not being around, begin relaxing for your evening. What do you guys do?
I'll identify the chain shirt for starters.
Okay. You take 10 minutes to identify it. It is an adamantite chainmail. This is, firstly, it is a chain shirt. Ideally, chain shirt is the lowest tier of heavy.
That's fine, because that's what I have now.
Whilst attuned to this item, oh, excuse me, it's not attunement, just is.
It's
So
not
it's not
magical,
attuned.
it's just the material.
It's uncommon. It's uncommon. While wearing it, any crit against you becomes a normal hit. It is beautifully crafted by what appears to be a mixture of steel, platinum, and silver. Potentially, it's just more what the colors are, what you can associate it to. It is beautiful. It's currently much too large for most of you to wear, given the fact it was previously on a Oni. And thankfully nobody critted the Oni.
Can you confirm, is it chain mail or chain shirt?
It's chainmail. So it's the lowest. I believe chainmail is the lowest tier.
No, ringmail is the
Ring
lowest.
mail is, but
Chainmail is on the heavy, isn't it?
yes.
Am I correct on that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Basically what I'm wearing now as it is.
Yeah.
But not being critted is fucking fantastic.
I'll just crit all your
Otherwise, I'd be
friends
worth a
instead.
mint.
That's an understatement.
And also, technically speaking, for me, it doesn't really matter if it's too big for me, because I just literally integrate it into my body.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
I would say, like, by most... Like, I know it's usually by attunement things change the size, but for things like that, I'd say that it will eventually or otherwise shift to match your size. Because otherwise... Yeah.
Warforges, they're weird.
The DM decrees, plot decide, you fit in it.
I.e., it's basically... I don't. You don't want me going around looking like I was a real big guy that just lost a bunch of weight. Now have
It's a little tight across the chest. No, I don't want you doing that.
But alright. Yeah, I guess I'll spend my time undonning my old chainmail and putting on the adamantite chainmail.
Ding, 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 ding. Chainmail.
Don't look at me without my plating. I'm naked.
Don't look at my wood. My enchanted wood.
My
But
wiring is
CPR.
as
Your
follows.
enchanted wood. I'm sure
that's what
many
it is.
women has called it your enchanted
And we've been
wood.
banned from Twitch. Good night, everybody.
Oh yeah. I'm not even thinking. Yeah.
You didn't even think it just went.
Nah.
Enchanted
that's what it
wood
is,
and
though.
butterflies.
Whew. Moving on.
We love you, buddy. We love you, buddy. So, King, you identify that? Serenus, is there anything you would like to do, my good man?
I'd say I'd probably just look after the pups, really, because we haven't seen them in
He's
quite a
puppet
while.
can.
Aw, babies.
So I'd like to do maybe some more training on them, some animal handling, if I may.
So you want to just like do another animal handling check just to see if you're like keeping up on the teaching bebe.
Yeah, I think the thing I want to try and start training them a little bit, like to get them used to, is kind of a grab and fetch kind of thing. Like I want to try and get them into the idea of fetching something, because my plan is
So
to
like
eventually
throwing something out and having a treat with you then, and like encouraging them back to you, and repeat until the treat's no longer needed, and then they just do it.
The
I'm not
plan
gonna
is-
lie, I'm gonna wait for the day where you do like a little spin in the corner and then you point at them and they just like pop, 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 and just do a little spin themselves.
Yeah, see,
Wait a
my
minute,
plan,
like
my
crap
plan
dog
is
dancing.
my plan is to eventually train them enough that when they start getting older, we can be like, right, go fetch that over there, and they'll go grab.
Go get that
things.
potion.
They can like grab things and shit like that. I'm like, yes, that's what I want one day.
At the end of the campaign, Black Kith will hold the Deus Ex Machina, and then will come a small dog. And just take it
Well,
out.
dog, by the end of the campaign, that dog is gonna be. That dog's
They're
gonna be large.
Doberman. They're Doberman.
They will be Doberman.
But they're huge.
Right now, they're pudges.
That's my role.
What is your role? Yeah. Well, you're not trying to teach them anything difficult. Dogs tend to do that down near ingrained.
Good. As I said, just keeping on top of them and making sure their showing's good. That's about it, really.
Anything else anyone else want to do?
I will say that Lo will carry on doing his lovesick thing, but when nobody's watching, he'll do the twitching thing that I talked to you about before.
That's fair. He thinks he's not being watched. He's probably being watched. We all know when you begin monologuing to yourself and you just begin moving back and forth between yourselves, sometimes someone could be looking and you ain't noticing because you are in it. People have probably disappeared off to balconies or otherwise, and other people are with the group still, yeah?
Yeah.
I am super not there.
Yep. That's why I said balconies.
I am gonna go find a roof.
I'm going to sit with Widdick.
In the misty rain, Posey goes and finds a roof to sing her sad Disney princess song for the
Oh my god, I thought you were going to break into song there.
You say that, but I feel like Posey just goes onto the roof, looks up at the moon, and just goes, "It's me, ya boy."
Basically.
Stop moon,
That's very
it's
much
me,
my intention.
ya boy.
Well, currently, the clouds are in the way of viewing the moon.
I'm just gonna sit there and hyperventilate probably and mumble incoherently.
That's free action.
Out of character. Don't worry, girls. One day, we'll have a druid powerful enough just to clear the skies.
And all he'll use that power for is to make it rain wine. And it's be like, just like a big ass funnel.
Powerful druids can throw bigger rocks.
Powerful druids can turn into rocks.
Hey.
Don't
And
tempt
throw
me.
themselves.
I will turn one of you into a rock and throw you.
And then throw us.
You can flesh this. Oh my god, you could flesh a stone an enemy and then have Widdick pick them up and throw them at someone.
Or this is my idea. I just look at Wit and be like, I'm going to turn you into a stone and throw you. Be prepared with your sword when you emerge out of the stone. Lob the stone, and this person, it's a pebble. It just transforms into this like warforged with
Whilst
that
hilarious.
sword. Just
Whilst hilarious, you could turn into an earth elemental yourself and fastball special hit a la Colossus and Wolverine. I assure you, any opportunity to use the fastball special will be approved in my campaigns.
Heck yeah.
nice.
We need more small
well-
fighters to get fucked at people.
Wanted to make a joke there about druids can't turn into rocks because rocks are monstrosities, but not beasts. But I won't go there.
Hey.
Yeah,
Oh,
Progress.
God. Explain,
Yeah.
Hey.
explain
puns?
bark skin and stone. Bells
Oh.
and stone then.
a rock.
Rock
Like
is
the
in the
bird.
bird, like Huru.
Oh.
Yeah.
I found it funny.
Okay.
Easy.
Now. Oh, come on. Whenever I talk about stones and birds, people don't want me to continue. But you guys, you can.
No! No.
Rocks
No.
are definitely beasts. They're lobsters.
I'm derailing this conversation.
we go.
We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Which path?
Stop
There's so
it.
many paths.
Happening
Which
I
path?
can only handle the one so much.
Which one of these paths should we take?
I'm gonna be sitting.
Look,
The joke went
look
four
what
different
you're
ways.
doing. Look what you're making me do. Okay.
Sitting with Widdick as I normally do. I'm going to just use the hand to call over Runara.
Hi.
Here we go.
Hi. You have my oath I will not raise anything, of course. At least while we're in
the
the
10 towns, she said.
we're in the territory of the
She
Ten
also said
Towns.
don't get caught.
That's still breaking the law, which I will not do.
True, that's a good shout.
Yes. We know kids.
Ignorance of the law
Renara
is no
Yuzawa's
defense.
showing.
So
That's
ignorance of the law is no defense against it.
That's also very true. So just very quickly, Das, can I ask you a question? The 10 towns doesn't encompass Citadel Felbar, does it? That's out of the 10 towns, right?
Technically, they're all kind of in the same conglomerate. The dwarves have their own rulings. 9 times out of 10, though, the dwarves are probably going to be more strict on respecting the dead.
Yeah, but their rules are similar.
Probably similar. Probably what you've been raised on your whole life.
Yeah.
What your god believes in as the goddess of life and preservation
That's true.
and the hearth.
She's not.
Oh, yeah.
She
I
can be
forgot
left.
about
She's,
that part.
she's kind of left to me.
Kate's just
Somewhere,
like,
just
oh,
Rona
why did I
leaning
play
down
a
going-
cleric?
Why did I choose the life domain?
Hey, look, it's too easy in an
Light.
indie game for the cleric to be necromancy is wrong. There's a grey area.
It is a grey area because I did make a good argument that I was only holding them for a moment and all that, but the law is the law. And you know how my character feels about the law.
Lawful.
Having now, so you have my oath I will do no such thing.
Right.
Good.
Perhaps barring some extreme circumstance, but I don't see that happening either, as that sort of spell requires forethought. It's not something you do on a whim.
Right.
At any rate, I'm afraid I must leave.
Sorry?
We are in the middle of the war, and Nesnar is correct. Good, bad is more as to what needs doing. Sometimes in war, sacrifices must be made. It appears, due to my own foolishness, I have left those under my charge in what may very well be harm's way. As I am not allowed to inquire on this matter, I cannot be sure, but I must do everything in my power to protect them.
Right, so you want to go get the mates, right?
Yes,
Well, where are they?
I want to get the triplets.
They're in Luskin.
They're at the school where I left them.
They're in Luskin. Well,
That's where we're going.
we're going back through Luskin anyway, so we come with you.
You can come with me, but
I mean, I say
I'm
can, we are.
just saying that when we happen to be travelling along the same path, you may need to disown me, as I may end up being an enemy of the state.
If it comes to that, we deal with that at the time.
Also,
I will not break the law, but of course I have made an oath to my charges, and I will do everything in my power to care for them. They are conflicting oaths, I am aware, but I must protect them. There is, of course, the possibility that I have misinterpreted the situation, but I am just preparing you for what risk may be in front of us.
It's fine, well, we've already pissed Raw. If he
yes.
does not finds out, we've already pissed him off. We didn't tell him about the gift that we met, that he asked us if we seen any gift, but it's fine.
Well, that's a different. Anyway, because I know something about Nezanar, roughly,
Knowing something about him is...
I feel
big.
more than likely, base judgment here. The reason he got mad was because King said the specific words of "get information," and that was the problem. As long as they're not actually doing anything in terms of getting information, i.e., looking into everything there, that should be the problem.
Now, Winnick,
But-
why are you such a smart boy?
Because I'm a fucking idiot everywhere else.
Because
What
if
brings
people
up?
were stupid all the time, then we wouldn't be heroes.
Exactly.
And I think this,
Points at Nasdo Gatebreaker.
I mean, yeah, hero is debatable for Nosdo.
of course, King has no idea
This
of
is
this.
so
She
rude.
just knows she's been shut down and told that suddenly, this is a serious problem.
So basically, King, what I'm going to tell you right now, it's your choice of words that made him mad, not the,
How
the
so?
point of them being.
He is
We could
right.
skip a bit and say you just repeat what you just told Das if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is right. You do speak too much sometimes.
I look at Runara, and then I look back at Widdick. Anyway, this is true. I do tend to reveal information wanting to be staying on the side of law. If you believe this is the case, it will simply be a matter of informing them they need to keep their ears shut, and anything they know they need to not say.
So
Exactly.
keep your head down and keep your mouth shut.
Keep your ears shut.
Talent. A maid is very good at not hearing things.
Plus, in all honesty, I feel that they could always use extra hands there at the school. It's a school. There's always cleaning and stuff with children and whatnot.
Indeed, when I left them, I told them to keep their ears open for matters on the Gith, but unfortunately, keeping your ears open keeps your ears open to the wrong things.
Exactly.
I do trust you, Wittick, more within my life than with my charges. So, and understand the weight of that.
So, give me 1 second. I'll point in the general direction of the matron's rooms. Well, I don't know if he's still there, though.
You feel like a flick as if something just flicked against the side of your temple.
Hey, how you
Stop
doing?
that!
So, is it okay if they stay there for being maids? But just make sure any information they do hear or anything, just not actually say or not even try to hear any information. 1 flick for yes, 2 flicks for no.
Just one. That was my attempt of flicking.
All right.
This is not good for flicking.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, so they're fine to stay as long as they don't hear nothing.
This is a very big weight off my mind. Sorry, we had a big break there. I do still have Cat, don't I?
Don't you want that?
Excellent. I'm going to tie a message to Cat's leg. Regular message. I'm going to lose contact with him doing this, I'm fully aware. And he's going to be off doing his own thing. Take a
Right.
message to the maid that they are to hold a maid's discretion. They will hear nothing, they will see nothing. That's all good maids should.
Do you write this?
Yes.
Right, it tie it onto his leg, a la most forms of avian message carrying.
Yep.
And just send them off and go.
Yep, you know where the city is. You can do it.
Just begins flying south. It'll eventually get there.
Yeah. And we're heading, and
Fears
I'll
off
tell
a
him
little
before he
bit,
leaves.
something kinda-
I will meet you there, provided you have not been disincorporated.
Of course.
That's gonna be a weird message if anybody's like, "Oh, sweet, a raven." What the fuck? Made discretion. What?
Firstly, the raven just disappeared when we stabbed it.
Yeah.
Secondly, what the fuck?
You're just sending a random message saying about made discretion. What the fuck?
Also, what does disincorporated mean?
They didn't mean.
No longer of a body.
No, that wasn't me. That was me imitating the person who found the letter. I know what that means. It's a great word.
I didn't
Very
write it
good.
down. Disincorporated is what I was saying to him. I was saying, I will meet you there to Cat. This is not written on the message. I will meet you there unless you are disincorporated. In which case, obviously, I will not meet you there because you will no longer have a body.
But alright.
It's technically a pseudo funny spirit. It's complicated. It's how familiars work. So,
Alright. That all settled. I believe it is time for us to get some rest.
My heart rate has dropped from 11 beats per minute to 10 again. I am much calmer.
Yeah, Wittick, that you should be making that face. Even you know that's not right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
You're like, the fuck? You go, oh, half a body.
It's slow, but it pumps hard.
She ain't got no body. Okay, so you all eventually make your own ways to your rest. Does anyone want to talk, do, or say anything whilst you are there?
Nope, happy to rest.
Okay.
Long rest plus.
Oop, telephone.
At the... I'll wait for him to finish.
So, is this a long rest?
Yes.
Yes.
You have a long rest.
Get the long
Yay.
rest. Okay.
Thank goodness for that.
Thank God.
And the first thing I'm going to do, hit
Spell
dice
slots.
where hit dice.
About that, actually, hun. Roll 20 is actually showing me as having spell slots of a certain spell level that I shouldn't have for my level.
What level does it have down? Because you
At a
should have access
level-
to casting at a 3rd level spell slot.
What is this funny with pack magic, right? Because spell
This is the
slots-
funny stuff with pack magic that I've kind of just like wishy-washy, handy-wavy. Because in my opinion, you can use your druid spell or your bard spells at a 3rd, but you can't use your warlock. Your warlock is capped to your pack magic one, which I believe is only level 1.
Well, this is what I was triple checking using that calculator that Kay made me aware of before.
Oh, right.
In that, as a bard warlock, I've got 4 first levels and 2 second levels,
Mm-hmm.
but no third levels.
Yes.
Okay.
I
But
think
I'm aware.
But roll
I'm aware of
20
the-
is presenting it as if you have a 3rd, does it?
Yeah, it's actually representing it as if I've got 2/3.
So my usual wishy-wavy way is you have 1 or 2. I think you have 2 right now as a warlock, 2nd level spell slots. They're all you have. You can use 2 of your warlock spell list spells from that. Anything else, you can use your bard spells up to your 3rd level. You only know 2nd levels. And I will say, as your boyfriend who loves you very much, next character you make, don't multi-class casters for your own head.
I like multiclassing.
Pick
multiclassing
a wizard or a
multi-classing
cleric who can
casters-
do 2,000 things.
multi-classing casters isn't too bad, but when one of them's a warlock, it really makes things more
No,
complicated.
the warlock thing is fine. I'm triple checking on the bard thing.
Yeah, see, Warlock is fine because it is its own standalone thing. Whereas
Yeah.
if you multiclass, if you multiclass 2 spellcasters that aren't Warlock, then their spell slots kind of get added together. But if it's a
Yeah.
Warlock, then Warlock is its own thing. So she just has
So-
Yeah.
those spell slots.
You're level 3
What
and
my
level 3,
rule of
right?
thumb is, what I'll say is, as my rule of thumb, is that look at what you have access to as a bard. Okay, so I think you have only access to 2nd level and 1st as a bard right now,
Level
because
3.
you're not a 5th level bard. So you have access to those, and your warlock levels, you have access to 2nd level at your top. You can cast 2 of your warlock spells at 2nd level, as you can always do, and you have your bard spell level differently. Okay. So ignore the spell slots that build up on it. You have 2 separate listings. That's going to be my ruling on it.
I think that's how.
I think it's how it's meant to be in this
That's how it's
instance.
meant
That's
to be.
how it's meant to be.
I know, but it's more. I think it's more the terminology always confuses me.
So I'm gonna
and
keep it to a
somewhat-
ruling of
Yeah.
you have just your spell the spells you have as a bard, they go up to 2nd level. Because right now that's what they have. Whatever, if you were to look at bard 3rd level, because you're a 3rd level bard, aren't you? Look
Yeah.
at the bard 3rd level ruling.
Yeah.
And it says you have access to X amount of spell slots, X amount of 2nd levels, so on. They're what you can use. They're what you can cast with.
Yeah.
As a warlock, warlocks will always have whatever spell they can cast at the highest spell slot possible. You've access to, as a 3rd level warlock, 2 spell slots, correct?
Yeah, that's the bit I'm not confused about.
The extra
Yeah,
spell
I think
The extra spell slot I'm going to ignore.
I think
because
in this instance, like I think it's roll 20 thinks because your total level is something that you should have this many spell slots, but because you've multiclassed into Warlock, essentially you are not using the multiclass rules. You literally are just using the rules for Warlock for your Warlock stuff and the rules for Bard for your Bard stuff. You basically ignore what the multiclassing page says.
If you were playing a
I'm getting nods from Spook, so I'm right.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you were
yeah,
playing a
that's right,
bard
that's
wizard, you'd be able to look at what roll 20 puts in.
Yes.
Warlocks are different, so we're ignoring
Yeah.
what roll 20 says.
That's,
You'll have to keep
yeah.
track of it yourself.
I was just making you aware of it because it was confusing me, and because I know how the bard and the warlock are working.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that I know I shouldn't be having access to the 3rd
So
level.
don't
you
worry
should.
about it. We know you will be casting at that high level anyway, because you're a good being. And furthermore,
Hopefully we've clarified it.
we keep them separate. Better to do it now than it is to do it in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
So we have it
Well,
got
you-
now, resolve it did.
So what you want to do is cross-class with a full spell caster,
Shut
then
the
a hybrid
fuck up.
caster, then a warlock.
Shut up, you!
I'm gonna play my cleric, wizard, sorcerer, druid. It's gonna be fun.
That actually wouldn't be too hard, but anyway.
Oh, but you do paladin, ranger, artificer, and then you go then you go eldritch knight and arcane trickster as well.
Anyway, let's get back to the game.
I've done Eldritch Knight, Paladin. I'm telling everyone here, no.
Don't play Eldritch Knight.
But do it as a primary by itself. Don't be me. Be better than me. It's not hard. Be better than me.
Learn from my mistakes.
Learn from my mistakes.
Let's carry on, shall we?
Do you have a rest, please?
You have a rest.
We do.
Thank God.
Carlos, you looked like you were going to keep saying things and
Yeah.
stuff.
I remembered something that I want to do in the night. I'm so sorry.
You're okay. What do you want to do?
It's potentially a quick thing.
Potentially, we'll see.
It might not be, depending. I will go invisible, and I want to go and find our changeling friend.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to talk to them as much as I just want to see them. If I
Okay.
can find them.
Probably the safe thing to say is make an investigation check to look for them, as the issue lies in have you found them or have you found who they're pretending to be?
Yeah, they might not look like that.
So for most of the night,
yeah.
you begin spending your time looking around, and then you go,
I will
wait,
stop at a certain point. But
and then
yeah.
after maybe 20, 30 minutes, you go, wait a minute. Last time I found them, and you go into one of the common rooms, and there they are again, entertaining a bunch of kids
Off guard.
who really look like they need it.
Yeah. I just want to make eye contact with them and just kind of, literally just sigh, full deflate, and then just nod and I'll go back to a roof.
Yeah. So you pop it off to let yourself be seen, and then pop it back on?
Yeah.
Okay, Frodo.
You gave me this thing.
I'm aware I gave you this thing.
When I get on a roof, I won't have it though.
Okay. To be anime out in the rain.
Yeah, obviously.
And then she gets pneumonia and she dies. Game off. Bye-bye.
Hey,
Bye,
rip.
Uh,
That's literally the thing
yeah.
I wanted to do.
Eventually.
But
Moo, moo, moo. Butterfly.
And then the entire party died of dysentery. The end.
Kika broke her hip.
Trail to Oregon intensifies. Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, you all find yourselves waking up at some point in the morning. Tired to some extent. The rain ceasing in the middle of the night. And with that, we're going to end the session here for the night.
Fair enough.
Woot woot. Loophole discovered in law. As long as I don't raise the undead, I'm fine. I can control them. I'm kidding.
Too lawful for your own good.
No,
Just
Will,
talking
I
about
love you so much.
talking about necromancer stuff.
Was there more to that? I thought there was going to be a but.
No.
Go on there, Ollie. What were you saying, sir?
With necromancer stuff, the first thing comes to mind is that comment when it's like, "I will avenge my brother. You have my axe and my bow and your
brother."
Seriously, who plays a lawful necromancer? That's never going to work.
You! Only you would do that!
And then when somebody says, can't do that, she's like, okay.
And the conversation ends, and it's like, oh. Huh.
Yep.
Also, I just thought about the perfect place that King could store a note, because you were talking about the note in the shoe and stuff like that. I'm just thinking I'm just picturing
Her rib cage,
the chest cavity,
Yeah.
just next to the heart.
Regardless, children,
Oh boy.
hope everyone enjoyed tonight.
Yeah.
Be safe, be loved.
We'll see you next week, boyos.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Happy.
the